So I'm back on trail and the weather is so much better. I did not film much the last couple days, particularly yesterday, just because it got really crappy. The weather was miserable and everything just seemed to go wrong. In the morning I woke up and my sleeping bag was completely soaked. I ended up using my emergency blanket and it's like the sleeping bag was just not working, my tent was leaking, the wind was just crazy, I ended up oversleeping. And I spent the whole day busting my butt to get to the road before dark so I could hopefully get a ride into town. And I made it. Took 40 minutes to get a ride. I can't believe I did the miles I did with how crummy I was feeling in the weather. I didn't have a choice because everything was soaked. My pack was so heavy because everything was wet. There's just water in my pack. I mean, it's been raining like nonstop for 4 days. It was pretty miserable. And then stuff just kept happening. Like I twisted my ankle, stubbed my toe really hard, I stepped in a cow pie, I got my hand in sap when I was squatting to go to the bathroom, and then all the toilet paper stuck to my fingers and I couldn't get it off. It was just such a big mess. Oh, it was not a good time. The trail was flooded, and to top all of that off, it was just freezing cold. I spent the whole time just trying to keep my hands warm. They just kept going numb. I had to keep sticking my hands in my jacket and trading them off. It was really bad. There was no one on the trail at all. Oh, and then apparently there's a lot of mountain lion activity. There were fresh tracks on the trail. I think I had mentioned that. But anyways, I was not a happy camper and I did not want to be out there. I had a few meltdowns and cried. It was kind of traumatic. But I made it back. I made it into town. Got a hotel room. I warmed up. I dried all my gear out. So it all worked out pretty well. And I'm still exhausted. But I'm back on trail as I got to keep moving. My ankle is really swollen. I didn't notice that until putting my shoe on right before leaving. That I can't really see much of my ankle bone. Like my Achilles tendon to my ankle bones are just so puffy. It's kind of concerning. I mean, it's sore, like kind of hurts, but I could walk on it. I already signed up for a shuttle back, so here I am. I'm gonna hike on it. It's 100 miles to the next town, so it is what it is. I haven't had any views at all whatsoever for the past 4 days, and now everything is clear and I can see everything. That makes me so happy. Like, it is so pretty out. Like, it's cool, it's perfect hiking weather. Like, this is so nice compared to everything that I went through the past couple days. Also, if anyone ever goes through Etna, definitely stop at the Grain Street Bakery. First of all, I absolutely love when there's bakeries in town. They're so good, and I love packing up pastries. I have a ham and cheese croissant and a chocolate croissant in my pack right now. But I ate 3 when I was in town. They were just so good. Like, everything was like perfectly flaky and buttery. It was some of the best pastries I've had in a long time. It's very French, very French vibe, atmosphere and everything. And then the shuttle driver back to the trail said that the pastry chef is actually the mayor of the town too. I think that's so cool. And he does a fantastic job. Like my favorite pastry that I had was this like square, kind of buttery, flaky croissant-like thing, and it had an egg cooked into it. Like the egg white was like perfectly cooked, and the yellow was like just enough to be like, it's not runny, but it's just barely not runny. It was like the perfect amount. And it had prosciutto and cheese and pepper on it. It was so tasty. I went back trying to get another one, but they were already sold out. Apparently they're popular items, so I'm glad I snagged one when I could. I try to keep tabs on worst and best days of the trail, but I think yesterday is now my new worst day on the trail for the PCT. It was originally the day before getting into Idlewild with the crazy windstorm and the cold. And then after that it turned into probably the day after Forester, when I thought I was going to suffocate in my tent and it was really cold. Yesterday I think was worse. It was a lot scarier. I don't know, Forester was scary too. I don't know. I've had some rough days, some good days too. I need to think about my favorite day so far. Yeah, I have had a lot of really good days too. One thing I am concerned about is hunting season. The shuttle driver who dropped us off said, hey, you better pick up something orange to wear because hunting season starts tomorrow. It's like, that would have been good knowledge to know before leaving town. So, though hunting season is over, we have seen a bunch of that, but it is rifle season. That's a little bit scary. I mean, I have blue in my jacket's blue, but my rain jacket is dark gray, my rain pants are black. So it's not really good. I should probably pick up something, some like vest to put on my packer at the very least when I'm in Costello, which is the next town. This is such a pretty ridge up along there. Wow. Oh, that looks like a jaggedy knife's edge. I love when I turn a corner and I get a view like this. It is always breathtaking. So it looks like a rock slide happened here. There's a couple big rocks and you can see up the side of the mountain where they dug out like a big hole out of. Maybe somewhere from up there. It's hard to tell how far they fell, but that's a rock slide. So I've heard that deer go after people's pee, and they're definitely comics. I've got hooks like guide that say that, oh, be careful with the deer, they're very bold here, or they witnessed two bucks fighting each other over who gets to drink the person's pee, and all sorts of stuff like that. That sounds like deer, and I also hear this about goats, are pretty pee crazed. And this morning when packing up, it was still dark out, I went out to pee, and then when I was brushing my teeth I turned around and suddenly there were 4 deer. Just in the dark, I completely didn't see them when I went to pee. But sure enough, one of the bucks were had its head down, lapping away at the spot that I just peed. So that is a real thing, and it was my first time witnessing that. It's interesting. I hear they want the salt. Oh my goodness. Last night, I didn't camp alone. This is probably the first time in weeks that I haven't camped alone. There is a woman in her 70s. it was set up there and we just talked all night, and it was really nice having company. She's doing the PCT in sections in over 8 years, and this is her last section, and she'll have the trail finished. And she's done some wild adventures. Her name's Lost and Found, and like she has so many cool stories to tell. She's gone on so many adventures. These look like some big kitty tracks up along here. Yeah, I guess it probably just leaped up to there or something. I don't know. I have been hearing about more and more northbounders who are seeing, most of them have seen a few mountain lions in their own eyes, not just the tracks. So, I wonder if I'll see one. Well, I just got back on trail from a little side adventure. Very unintended side adventure. I thought I was following the trail, and it turns out that I was following some old dirt road that, well, it's listed as a dirt road on my guide, but it looks more like a trail. And then I checked my phone, and I'm like, wait, I got to an intersection, and with no signs, but you know what? None of them were the trail. I veered off from the trail. So I went back, and then I'm like, how does this even look like the trail? Like the trail just kind of disappears and it's very vague. It's been kind of frustrating. Well, today is beautiful. It's not raining. It didn't rain at all last night. Makes me really happy, but it is quite cold. And I think I've decided to end my hike in Chester. I expect to arrive in Chester on October 1st. So next year I'm going to come out and finish the trail I have from Kearsarge Pass to Chester to do. I'm not sure what the miles are on that, but I think that I'll be starting at Walker Pass, just to get myself more acclimated to the elevation before entering the Sierras. And I have a couple friends who are interested in joining me. So that'll be next year's adventure. But I'm sad not to be able to finish this year, but it's just the weather hasn't really been fun the past week. And it's going to continue to be cold. I'm already going to have to come back next year to hike. I might as well hike it at a time of year that I'd really enjoy it. Well, I got to a road, and Lost and Found's partner was there, and she'd said that he picked up a ace bandage from the hiker box, and then I might be able to get it from him to help my ankle. So I ended up getting this from him, and he wrapped my foot up like way too tight, and my foot was going numb and losing feeling. So I had to adjust it, and then I was hiking it for a while, and it was like really digging into my heel, and it was painful. So I ended up taking it off. But yeah, before the road, my ankle was getting worse. I think the painkillers were wearing off, and I was really feeling it, and it was bothering me. The swelling is down from yesterday. I can actually see my ankle, like this was almost like complete pudge. It's still pudgy here, and it's a little bit thick, but the swelling has gone down some, but it is kind of painful. I hope that it could just heal tonight, and then I'll feel better in the morning. I was hoping the same thing yesterday, but it's hurting, so we'll see. So I believe that mountain out there is Mount Shasta. Haven't seen a snow-capped mountain in a while, and it's just covered in snow. I wonder how much of it is this year's, or this upcoming season's snowfall, because we have been getting some really cold weather. Also, there are cow pies like everywhere, splattered all over the trail. It's been like walking in a minefield. I stepped in two, and I kind of slip on them like you'd slip on a banana peel. It just like your feet slide right out from underneath you. And some of them really blend into the dirt or look like a rock. But I'm not really afraid of the cows out here. For the most part, when you get close, they run away and they seem pretty docile. So they're all right. So last night at 3 a.m., a mouse chewed a hole in the mesh of my tent and woke me up, and it jumped back trying to get out the hole. I can't believe this fat mouse squeezed through this tiny hole in my mesh. Didn't get to my food or didn't seem to do any damage, but probably woke up right as it got in. I think it landed on top of my food bag. That made noise. But really, I got this whole trip without having a critter chew a hole into my tent. I've been a lot less alone in the woods because of hunting season. I have been seeing a bunch of hunters. I just passed 3 and they didn't even notice me. So, yeah, I don't know how well they're gonna hunt for something if they can't even notice me. But yeah, it makes me a little bit nervous. So I just passed by a group that's horse packing. It was like 3 people and then a 4th horse carrying their gear. And they had rifles and they're riding with beer cans. It's just such a ridiculous combination. I definitely haven't seen something like that before. I passed a few northbounders today. Trails have been a lot more lively. I would assume that a lot of people hunkered down because of the horrible 4-day rainstorm. So everyone's coming back out trying to make some miles while the weather is nice. But I hear that it's supposed to rain tomorrow, and then next week it's supposed to start snowing. So, got some weather coming up. But today I passed mile 1,100. Yay! I don't remember seeing any kind of pine cone or wood chip or rock design showing mile 1,000 nor 1,100. Maybe there's just not as many southbounders out here to maintain them or something, but it makes me kind of sad. But still, over 1,000 miles southbound. That feels pretty good. I'll have to pay more attention to try to find or make a 1,200 when I get there. When I stopped to get water, I noticed that this place is absolutely surrounded by pitcher plants. I've never seen these in the wild before. I've seen them like in like plant places or online. It's so neat. Like they're so bizarre. Oh, look at a bee going up in that one. Oh, they like translucent little windows in them too. That's so cool. Well, this is supposed to be the highest percentage of rain, or chance of rain, that I'll experience today. Also, I'm getting closer to Shasta, but I think I've lucked out. In like 2 hours, it's going to drop down to 10 to 20% for the rest of the day. But I think it's going to be a good day. I'm already moving pretty well. The temperature's great. It's nice out. So in earlier episodes, I was talking about hoping to lose weight, and for a while, I think it kind of plateaued. I wasn't really losing fat or building muscle, or I was just kind of eating to maintain, essentially. Not that that was intentional, but that was going on for like a month, but my appetite has decreased in the last couple weeks, and I've just been eating basically just enough. I've definitely dropped my calorie intake quite a bit, but I feel fine, I feel great, and I've actually been losing weight again. So my new pair of pants that I got that were pretty snug on me, well, actually they were too snug when I got them, so I sent them up ahead, and I ended up picking them up in Side Valley, and they actually fit finally. And as of right now, they're getting kind of loose already, so I might drop yet another pant size. But I'm feeling pretty good. Like, I feel like with the weight loss and carrying less food in my pack, I've been able to move faster. I'm doing more miles. I did 27 miles yesterday, and like, I feel like I could step up my mile game and go further. I'm feeling good. It rained on and off for a few hours after all. I think it's finally gone away. The skies are blue. There's a little bit of sun as it's like starting to go down. But the trail was very overgrown, so I just got soaked by all the plants with the cold water. So I'm so cold right now. I just want to lay out in the sun. But whatever. Tomorrow I head into town. After I get to camp, I'll have 14 miles to get into, well, going into Casella, as I have a package at the post office there, but I'm going to be staying in Dunsmuir. Oh, my nose is so runny. It is cold. This is such a change of scenery for me. It's like this little, the fact that I've got like a canopy and the trees are different. A lot of leaves on them, and this little path underneath them. It's like a raised on the side. This is so cute. I like this. So the PCT is closed for about a mile. So there's this long detour. It's about 3 miles or something like that. Just kind of obnoxious. Like, the PCT had been like wheelchair accessible for a while. So I feel like they closed it because that section was no longer wheelchair accessible. It's probably something silly like that, where like a PCT hiker could get through, but because the surrounding area wasn't is wheelchair accessible, they're like, well, it doesn't match, whatever. I feel like it's probably something silly like that, but I'm taking this trail that looks like almost no one uses. There's a lot of branches across, a lot of pine cones and stuff, but whatever, it is what it is. I'm almost to the road. I look forward to getting into town. It's been suddenly really warm out, and I'm here wearing my like thermal leggings, thinking it was gonna be another cold day just like the last 3 weeks, but no, I'm kind of sweating. I'm ready to just get into town. And then with the warm weather, I'm being just swarmed by flies. They keep flying at my face. They're so annoying. I'm ready for shower and laundry. I still look forward to it. I have a room booked at the Pearland House in Dunsmuir. It's a bed and breakfast. Some northbound through hikers that I passed the other day recommended it, and it seems like a pretty good deal. It's like $65 for a room to myself, with a bathroom down the hall and breakfast in the morning. That sounds good to me.